I never thought my life could change in 30 days. And honestly, most people still don't believe me when I tell them what happened, but this is the truth. Not a clickbait title, not a miracle story. I learned to code for 30 days, and by the end of that month, I earned my first real money with my new skill. This is exactly how it happened. Before everything changed, my life felt stuck. Not broken, not tragic, just empty. Every day looked exactly like the one before. Same routine, same job, same paycheck that barely covered anything. But the worst part wasn't the money, it was the feeling that I wasn't growing. That I had potential, just no direction. One night, lying in bed staring at the ceiling, I whispered to myself, there has to be more than this. That sentence hit me harder than I expected. Because I didn't want to spend the rest of my life wondering what could have been. That night, everything started. I didn't know anything about coding. I didn't know what language to learn. I didn't know if I was smart enough. But I made one simple promise to myself. For 30 days, I'm going to give this everything. Not try, not hope, not wish, commit. So on day one, I opened my laptop, searched how to start coding, and hit play on the first beginner video. And that small moment, that tiny action, was the first step toward everything that would come later. The first week, it was rough. Nothing made sense. Variables, functions, loops, it felt like trying to read a language from another planet. Some nights, I stared at the screen for hours with zero progress. Some nights I felt stupid, like I wasn't meant for this. And every time an error popped up, it felt like the computer was telling me, maybe this isn't for you. But I refused to quit, because quitting is what I always did before. And I promised myself this time would be different. Around day 10, something changed. I wrote a small project, a simple calculator app. And when I clicked run, and it actually worked, I froze. Because for the first time, I wasn't just copying code. I was creating something. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't advanced, but it was mine. And I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time, pride. That night, I realized, I can do this, I can really do this. Days 11 to 20 were the grind phase. Wake up, work, code, sleep, repeat. Some days were beautiful, everything made sense. Others were frustrating, nothing worked at all. But every day, I learned something new. Every day, I got a little better. Every day, I pushed myself past the limits I used to accept. And slowly, the fear I had in the beginning turned into confidence. Not because I was a great coder, but because I finally believed I could be. Then, around day 22, something happened that I didn't expect. A friend posted online complaining about how his business website kept breaking. The layout was messy, the mobile version was awful. He didn't know how to fix it. Normally, I would have scrolled past. But this time, something inside me said, try. So I messaged him, hey, I'm learning coding. I can take a look at it if you want. He replied instantly, please. I'll pay you if you can fix it. My heart dropped. Pay me, the beginner. But I said yes. I worked on his site the whole weekend, Googling every error, trying every fix, redoing the layout, and on Sunday night, I sent him the updated version. A few minutes later, he replied, bro, this looks amazing. What's your PayPal? I didn't even know what to charge. So I said, whatever you think is fair. He sent me $120. I stared at the screen. Not because of the money, but because for the first time in my life, I earned money from something I created with my mind. That moment changed everything. It wasn't about $120. It wasn't about the project. It wasn't even about coding. It was about proof. Proof that I wasn't stuck forever. Proof that I could learn something new. Proof that I could create value. Proof that I could change my life. In just 30 days, I didn't become a senior developer. I didn't get a six-figure job. I didn't build the next billion-dollar app. But I did something more important. I started. If you're watching this and you feel stuck, if you feel lost, if you feel like nothing you do matters, let this be your sign. Start today. Start small. Start messy, but start. Because 30 days from now, you might look back and realize that the life you wanted, the one you always dreamed about, was waiting on the other side of one decision. Thank you for listening. This was my story. And maybe, one day soon, it'll become yours.